What's up guys, it's Sean and welcome back to the iherng podcast, and today this episode is brought to you by Property Guru. Introducing Bricks Report, which is a tool that allows us to make better informed decisions. So within the report itself, we get all information of the past transacted price for any projects that we are targeting. So for the paid version, we get to access the details up to the unit number, which allows us to determine on the orientation versus the floor height, which orientation is better, or does the high floor sell better, or things like that. Well, for the free version, we still get to access the very important data, which is the median price per square feet, also the median transacted price of the project. So this is very useful, especially for those who already have clarity on the exact project that you want to buy. And this 69 ringgit investment allows you to have all data to help you make better decisions on your home purchase. So I'll just put a link down below, go check it out. And now let's head on to the question from email. This is from Flash. Dear Sean, I am one of your followers who watch most of your videos. First of all, would like to thank you for giving so many valuable guidance to newbies like me. I am now 24 years old, working at a healthcare sector. I have just bought my first property in Kepong, where I am from. It was a subsale unit and it was rented out in 4 days after fully furnishing it. The rental can cover the installment and the maintenance, which I think is a good deal as the loan was marked up, which means 10% down payment was also saved, and I then put into my flexi account to offset the interest. Good job lah. Number one, my first question is, there are so many parameters like location, connectivity, facilities around to define a good investment property. However, if the goal is to build equity, as long as the rental can cover the installment, it is considered as a good deal, right? As the rental is less likely to decrease, and a rental demand in an area that is hot is unlikely to drop drastically in the future too. Number two, I am also looking at a second property, which is Clio 2 in IOI Resort City, where you have reviewed before. There are still unsold developer units which I can get the benefits of a new property and the certainty of a subsale. I have also calculated that the rent can cover monthly installment with zero down payment and even at least 30,000 cashback. I am talking about long-term rental of a fully furnished unit, not Airbnb rental by room even. When something sounds too good to be true, what do you think about this property and the whole township by IOI? I have stayed there for 2 years plus for studies reasons. I would say that the demand there is quite high, as the lesser rental choice there is also UPM, Unit 10 and hospitals around. Do you think I am too kanjiong in my second unit as the first one just got rented out? Afraid that the FOMO has blinded me to look at the bad side of this investment. Appreciate your view on this. Point number 3. Question 3 is an extension of question 2. When there are unsold developer units after a few years of VP, does it mean that it is a bad property or is a norm in the property market? Is there a significant association between purchase demand and rental demand in an area? Sorry for the lengthy message, Sean, and I really want to thank you for all the advices and lectures. Wish you and your family happy and healthy always. Best regards, your 24 years old mentee. Now, everywhere also got mentee lah. Now the funniest thing is when people come to me, hey, sifu, like, hey, since when I got 头呆, I got like disciple and things like that. But anyway, thank you very much. I really appreciate all the questions and email. And let's get to it. Mr. Flash here, 24 years old, works in healthcare, got a property in Kepong, rented out immediately after fully finishing it. 4 days only, they rent out already, and it can cover the rent and maintenance. So everything very good. And I gotta be honest, reading through your email sounds like I wrote it. The entire wording and how you think is all pretty solid lah. So first of all, congratulations on the purchase, and this really proves a point. Like I always say, like for all the talks and all the seminars that I've gone to, right, the main question has always been, is it a good time to buy now? Is it a good time to invest now? How is the property like? My answer is always yes and no. If you think the property market is good today, you are right. If you think it's bad, you're also right. Because our belief system is heavily predicated on the things that we are exposed to. It can be information from the media that you consume. It can be words from your friends of your surrounding, or from your colleagues, or from your parents, or whatsoever. When you believe the property market is bad, you will keep focusing on the bad things like, hey, here got auction lah, there got people struggle lah, and things like that. But for us in our community here, we keep looking for opportunities. And the more we look for opportunities, we keep looking at the good side. Hey, this one can consider. Hey, this one can cover. Oh, this one. And we keep getting deals, and we keep finding opportunities to an extent where sometimes is it too good to be true. Both sides happens within the same world, the same realm. So it's a matter of picking sides. If you think the glass is half empty, then you're right also, half full, also very good, entirely up to you. But it's a mere tweak in belief system. So all I'm saying is, if you have adopted the positive mindset towards property investment, hey, I think property is a real tool to build wealth, it's a real tool to allow us to leverage on all financial facilities, other people's money, other people's time, other people's knowledge, well, my knowledge, to really build wealth for the future, right? Please be careful on who we share our good news with. As much as we need to protect our assets, we need to protect our investment, right? The most important thing is to protect our mindset and belief. But let's be real. You guys who have subscribed to the channel, who has watched the channel for so long, consumed so many things, right? You guys are already abnormal. Means that you guys are consuming a lot of information and data about one of the most boring subject, property, on a platform that has entertainment elements in abundance. Next to me, most likely is your NBA game lah, music videos lah, highlight reels or whatsoever lah. So my videos will be competing against all entertainment things, but then you guys still choose to click it. That's why you guys are different. That's why Mr. Flash here, you deserve the success that you got. You listen, study your own, you make your own decision, you go through the entire 4 basic steps to determine what you can buy, and you found the deal and you pull it off. Good job. But moving forward, all of us gotta really protect ourselves. Be very careful who we share good news with, because not everybody is very happy when property investors make money. You guys lah always go and goreng all the house. That's why all property prices all go up like mad. You guys lah make property unaffordable to public. You guys lah geram lah. Every time talk to property investor, all like that. Well, there's some truth to it. But if the same deal falls onto their plate, they also don't care. They also don't take action. Right? And what amazed me further, it's the details, right? So it's a subsale unit that Mr. Flash here bought in Kepong. He settled for a subsale unit where you get to already determine the datas involved, like you know the latest transacted price, what's the rental rate for your neighbor's unit, who are your neighbors next to the unit, because you will go and see the unit before you buy ma. You know exactly what's the orientation like, how's the lift condition, how's the common area, how's the traffic, everything. And I like that he started in a location that he is from, so he is very familiar with Kepong, which is a place that he was in. But that's also something that I would encourage first-time home buyers to do. Like if you don't know where to start, right, it's very hard to just start from Mont Kiara if you are not from that location. If you are from Subang, then every time you need to drive Mont Kiara, tak mungkin ma, right? Might as well you just start looking around the location that you're in first, because there's always an advantage to native. Like you will know what time which school let go of their student earlier, right? Like maybe Monday 3 o'clock there will be co-curriculum basketball training at this road, that's why it will be jammed. Maybe on Thursday night there will be a pasar malam here, so at this row don't buy, it will be very noisy. Then on special festivals here, this temple will have a lot of gatherings, so this junction will be jammed always. All this kind of thing do play a part in making the right decision, and you guys have all those information which is only going to be beneficial during the decision making process. Then when you get familiar within your location, for example Subang Jaya, you look into 20 different properties. Then when you branch out to so-called hot locations like Duta Masker, Mont Kiara, KL Central or whatsoever, then you start to notice that, hey, wow, in that area, Mont Kiara, you can get 6 to 7%. In Subang, maybe 5 to 6. But only this stretch of SJCC, you will get higher. I don't know why. Maybe it's due to the population of offices around. Then you'll start having theories, and this is the process of familiarity of the location that you're in. Because I believe every location will have different strategies to investment altogether. Some locations really can buy landed only. Some locations really landed is way too high, holding power is too intense, don't even consider. That is the main difference. And for Flash, I like that he did it. Also, he fully furnished it. That's why in 4 days time it's already rented out. This really just breaks the myth of everybody say, now property oversupply lah, no one will rent out or whatsoever, right? Thank you very much, Mr. Flash, for showing everybody that they are wrong. And it's even done where he marked up the SPA price, means the property was sold under the valuation price. Here maybe it's like a 360 to 400,000 property, I assume only. So maybe the bank valuation is 400,000, but the owner only wants to sell at 350. And what Mr. Flash here did with the lawyer is to have the SPA signed higher. So when you get 90% financing from the bank, it even covers the down payment. So you pay the down payment after you sign the SPA, and when the bank release back, right? So it means also savings on the down payment. So I don't have to pay out anything, and without paying anything, the property can already cover maintenance and installment. Mr. Flash, you're awesome. And what's even cooler, whatever he got extra from financing, he put back into the flexi account to knock off interest. Because for those who are not familiar with this, housing loan interest is calculated on a daily basis on the amount that we owe to the bank. Let's say we owe the bank 400,000 today, but we have extra 40,000 in the savings account, don't know what to do, we can pump into the flexi account. What it means is that we owe the bank 360,000, and the interest will be calculated based on 360,000 instead of the 400,000 loan. That's the difference between the interest calculation method between hire purchase and housing loan. So please get ourselves educated on this so we can really maximize. And for rainy days or emergencies, right, we can always go back to the account and withdraw the money out. Well, but every withdrawal there will be like a fee, like a 50 bucks or 25 bucks, I forgot. But every banks are different, so you can always take money out from the housing loan. It's like an overdraft facility. It's a little bit more common for business owners because when they have money, they pump back in to save interest. But during days where cash flows are tight, they will just go in and take out money, pay all the staff in salary, right? Then when the clients all pay money, they will put back the money into the account and continue rolling. So these are the benefits of financial literacy. We gotta know what we are dealing with, and I'm so glad that Mr. Flasher, 24 years old, get all this. Whew. So let's go into the questions, right? The first question, what is the definition of a good deal? Like he asks, if the goal is to build equity, as long as the rent can cover installment, it is considered a good deal, right? So here we can kind of talk about different definitions, and that is where I think it differs in accordance to the stage of the property market. So when I was in the market, I got into the market, it was the days of flipping. Those were the days where DIBS was still around, developer interest bearing scheme was still around. It means that during the construction period, buyers don't have to pay interest for the construction at all. That's very good. That will save a lot of money. The second thing, there was no limitation to the 90% slot for financing. Now for every Malaysians, we only got 2 slots of 90% loan for residential properties, right? The third one, we need to pay more on capital because we are only entitled for 70% loan. So these two 90% last time is non-existent. It's all you can qualify. And last time, in order to qualify for loan, is mere papers away. Okay, you can photostat a few income statement, pay slip, and you just get loan like that. Now we need to go through a very strict checklist, right? 6 months here, 6 months there, CTOS, CCRIS, check validity of your job application. You need to have confirmation letter if you are less than 3 years time. A lot of things lah, because a lot of people forge documents after that, which is big no. I do not encourage that at all. And there was also a time where the market was in a situation where there was not enough supply. Demand for housing is extremely high. So this is when we get the unicorn projects such as Desa Park City, such as Setia Eco Park, Setia Alam, Bandar Utama starts picking up all the landed projects, right? So this was the time where everybody was just telling me don't need to work. just buy property and sell. Because if you were to buy new projects, by the time you complete the project, you will have earned 50% already. But those kind of days were very limited. And if we choose to play the flipping game today, we will not make money lah. Because all developers know how to play the game already. All players know how to play the game already. So the rule changed. Where now, I think it's better that we play the equity game instead. Because now rental can actually cover installment. So the game that we play right now, which is similar to you and me, as long as the rent can cover my installment, if possibly even include maintenance and everything else, we still got extra, right? I will just need to hold it for the next 30 years. I just status quo every year. I will work once, which is to renew the contract or to get a new tenant. But for the next 30 years, I will own the property entirely 100%. So, at my level, personally, I think I expect zero capital appreciation. Means that if I were to buy the property at 400,000 today, as long as the rent can cover installment, I'm good. So for the next 30 years, right, I will fully own a property that is 400,000. There's a lot of argument here saying that, hey Sean, do you know that if you pay the property for the next 35 years, right, the interest plus the capital is almost double the price of the property? Yes, but is it my money? No. So in this situation, 30 years later, the banks win because I fully paid all the interest, correct? But in 30 years time, I also own the property entirely. Very good. Then within these 30 years, the tenant also gets a place to stay. Also very good. So it's a win-win-win kind of situation. Do I mind that the banks make money so that I can make? Without the banks, I cannot afford the property anyway. So it's a win-win mindset kind of thing. Of course, this is a realistic optimism scenario. There will be times where they got no tenants or things happen to the property. That leads to the absence of hard rules. Like technically, that is the goal, to hold the property. So I got 10, 12, 15 properties in the future where it's 100% all paid off. So as much as I can believe 明天会更好. This is a Chinese saying that means that, oh, we always believe that tomorrow will be better, right? How sure are you that tomorrow will be better? Once you buy property, once you own property that is actually rented out and it generates money for you, right? Confirm tomorrow will be better because new projects will only get smaller. If not, they will get more expensive. And the weirdest thing here is that we are very, very confident in inflation. Right? Inflation, next 10 years, right? The price of coffee will sure be more expensive than today. Confirm, right? No argument. But for property, why suddenly people will think that, maybe in 10 years time, the property price will crash? That's the weirdest thing. But after mixing around with different profiles of property investors, this is what I always say. Our investment strategy heavily depends on our financial status. There are investment strategies that applies to people with no money. Like we got no money, we heavily leverage on bank facilities, leverage on people's time and money to get the right property, and we build our equity from there. That's why our definition of good property fulfills that. But if we have money, for example, if I got 5 million cash purely for investment, everything else is sorted out already, right? Then the entire investment strategy will be different. The conversation will most likely be revolving around how much return should I get for this 5 million compared to FD. If I were to put in FD, I will get like 4%. Or maybe if your relationship is better with certain banks, you get a bit higher. That is certain for sure. But if you can put into S&P 500 in US, what will be the returns like? 8%? 10%? In comparison to those different investment assets, if I were to put into property, what's the expectation of my returns? Therefore, it will be a very different scenario where people of that nature start looking into different classes of property, which means like residential, let's say like Sean, you give me 7%. Okay lah, but so many things to do. What if I buy shop lots? Shop lots may be higher in prime location. What about factory lots? What about just buying land? I will just buy empty land in prime areas, right? But the possibility of it going 10x, 15x in 10 years is very, very high. Is that then a better investment strategy compared to just collecting rental? It's entirely up to your definition. No one set the rule to be rental higher than installment. That's good. So that's the poor man's way of investment. If I now got 5 million cash, do you think I will still mingle around apartments? I will go get corner lot landed of terrace houses already, and I'll pay them off straight, and I'll only take 50% loan where the rent can cover the installment. Then I will keep rolling because I have sufficient holding power. Or I can just settle for one shop lot in PJ or Damansara where I can collect maybe 15,000, 6,000, 3,000. I'll just collect 24,000 in rent for a shop lot. And it's okay. The whole plan is to have capital appreciation where how long I need to double up my initial investment of 5 million. So that's usually the way of how they think about their money. Now I got 5 million. If I were to allocate all this into these properties in 5 years' time, what would be my net worth? Is it 10 million? If not, when can I achieve 10 million? That will be their measurement, their gauge to determine whether is it a good investment or not. It's a very different mindset altogether, but I hope all of us will strive towards that stage. Like you building your second, right? Then your third, fourth, fifth, then maybe we can start cashing out, start selling some, or refinance, right? Then we start having capital, then we start playing bigger things, something like Monopoly like that. When you have 4 houses, then you can turn into a commercial lot of a hotel. Maybe that's the plan. But if we don't reach that stage, it's fine because we are already beyond the average population. So the answer to question 1 is yes, that's my current definition of a good investment property. But moving forward, like now I'm in a state where after you have a certain number of property within your portfolio, is it time then to go bigger? Is it time to then take more risk? Because now I can still qualify for 30 years loan. Should I go for landed already? Or should I start playing commercial lots? Or should I go for those mini industrial lots? Can I take the risk? Then we need to think about the income level, the risk tolerance level. Like last time, if all my properties are empty for the next 6 months, right, I'm all good. But if I were to go and gear myself up with an industrial lot where the monthly installment is 40,000, right? Walao. Don't play a fool, right? That's why it's a whole different level. So there's no strict definition of a good investment, but at this stage, let's just roll with it. Question 2 is about Clio 2 in IOI Resort, where you realize that the monthly installment can be covered with the rent currently, and with the current promo provided by the developer, you even got 0 down payment, you even got cash back, and still can cover all this with long-term rent. So for those who don't understand this, there are formats of rental that we usually cover. Like how do I determine the quality of a property is I will need to have multiple rental options. So this was made famous by Far Capital, which is Mr. Faizul, right? So he mentions a lot about a property that has multiple rental options that will be ideal for investment. Why? Let's say if I were to have the property, can I rent out the property long term? Means that I can rent to a family or to a couple, whoever, right? Where they can take like 1 year, 2 years lease. If that is not workable, can I rent out room by room? Will there be such a market? If not, can I go by Airbnb short-term basis? If cannot, can I go by head? Meaning like I will calculate by number of human beings being squeezed within the unit itself. The profile of tenants here is heavily predicated on the location of the property. If it's close to the student area, of course, the probability of your tenants being students will be very, very high. The same with office centers, the same with residential areas. Therefore, these tenant pools will determine whether the return for your property will be high or not, because it's based on temporary need of space. Like if for students, why they are willing to pay higher rent? Because they have no options of owning the property, because they are just there for the next 3 years for your study. That's it ma. Tak mungkin they go and buy the property, right? It's exactly like those projects that's located within office or commercial areas. Most of the time, people are posted there for the job, and because of that, they need a place to stay temporarily. So they are willing to pay higher rent because of the walking connectivity or whatsoever lah. Many may think that why would people pay such a high rent? Might as well buy. It wouldn't make sense for them to buy. You wouldn't just buy the cow because you want to drink 2 cups of milk, ma. And I like the finding here from Mr. Flash because he has been studying there for the past 2 years. So he understood that, some of his classmates actually also will rent there. They will go to the IOI City Mall there. Then there's hospitals there and things like that. And as mentioned just now, like once we start approaching property investment from a very positive manner, right, we will always come across opportunities like this. Like this project, I've done a review about it before. I also did a topic-based discussion in the unit before where it's a completed project, but there's still unsold units by the developer. So now if you were to buy this type of project, I think it's the best. Because the biggest fear of buying a new property before it's built, right, you have a lot of uncertainties. But if you were to buy such project that is completed, right, you exactly know what's the orientation, what you will see from the unit, the build quality, the existing complaints of residents, the facilities level, the maintenance, the accessibility, the existing rental rates, the existing subsale markets and things like that. and while enjoying all this along with the promotional things that you can get from developers, such as the free MOT lah, free SPA lah, I don't know lah. So this one they can change, but usually that's the case when you buy completed unsold units from developers. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. But what my advice would be before you getting into FOMO, because now he thinks that why is such a good deal in the market, nobody cares, why nobody buy? Is there something wrong? So to just counter check, right, what's the subsale market for the unit of the exact same size? So there will be a debate, maybe like the new unit is actually 600,000 for example, right? But subsale is around 500,000. But now I got no cash. What to do, right? So I will then take up the unit from the developer directly and still have cash back instead of going for a subsale, because for subsale you need to pay up at least 18%. But with 18% here, then you will have a higher potential of positive cash flow where the rent is definitely higher than your monthly installment, because with the exact price from the developer that is filled with all the free stuff, right, he can already cover. Imagine with a paid up 18% upfront. So is then a debate between you want positive cash flow or do you want to put out less money upfront? Entirely up to you. And that is one way to really check the market. Or you can just head on to Property Guru's Bricks report, which is the main sponsor of this video. You can go and check out the past transacted price to really see that is this price valid or not. That will be a good gauge. Is it too fast for you? To me, not really lah. Because once you come across a good deal, just pull the trigger if you are comfortable, if you have made all the relevant calculation, but you are 24. So there will always gotta be a discussion about how certain are you in your career pathway too. Means that your money, your income, cash flow, is it healthy? Everything else is predicated on that. If our investment, right, suddenly if we lose job for 6 months, gone case, all investment all go down the drain. The active income portion is still very, very important. If that is sorted out, right, by all means, bro. And the last question, when developer have unsold units for a few years, does it mean it's a bad property? And is it the norm of the property market? Not really. So most of the projects, right, that were completed but unsold, most of the time it's all about the asking price. Most developers will have a very ambitious asking price, especially from public listed companies, because they do think that their brand carries a certain premium. Like when you buy a unit from a public listed company, they are obliged to really entertain your complaints, really give you the best service possible, because anytime you were to lodge a complaint on social media or whatsoever, they have a PR value to protect. So that's the main difference. But if you just go and buy from those small boutique one, right, they don't care, and like you go and complain, and this is my only project and my last project. So there will be certain treatments like that. But this is also something to highlight, right? Like, I don't think that this market condition is going to hold for very long. Like, it has been like 5 to 6 years time where we start complaining about oversupply. Yeah lah, property everywhere, oversupply. You see condo here, build there, build everywhere, build. Got so many people stay, man. Got so many people buy, man. That led me to think about this theory, right? When we want to make money in investment, do we buy when the market is good or do we buy when the market is bad? Because in this same realm, we can see property in prime location keeps increasing in prices. Rental has been going very, very healthy for my portfolio. So it has increased year on year 22 to 23%. But then you also have people losing money in their Cyberjaya project lah, losing money because they bought at the peak lah. So the lesson is, for people who bought at the peak of the property cycle, usually they will lose money. But this is when everybody is encouraging you to buy. Wow, you want to make money? Just buy property now. Property hot, now property good, now property, wow, just buy and it sure make money one. That's the time to actually not buy, in my opinion. Like when everyone is telling you that property now makes money, right? Wow, you own property, wow, good for you. Not a good time to buy already at that time. So now I do think that the oversupply situation is very beneficial for investors like us. We can find opportunities like that where developers are kind of still desperate to make sale. You think developers don't know how to calculate, meh? They will still know that, oh, you know rental rate is this. If you buy this property from us, your monthly installment will be this, where you can make money. And not only that, you still get like cash back from us. it's a good deal. But these deals only happen when they are struggling to sell. Imagine a change of scenario where now people line up to buy property. Even if they know that the renter cannot cover installment, people still buy, right? Might as well I make more margin for the company instead of letting you make money as an investor, correct? A clear example will be those properties in Johor right now. So now the rental rates in Johor is really picking up, and you look into the selling price per square feet for all the projects closer to the Link Bridge, right? Wow, no joke. It's more expensive than the projects we have in Bukit Jalil, Mont Kiara, KL Central. It's insane. Then you think about it, is it a good time to buy now for Johor? Or it would be better when the entire market crashed. Like for the team in Far Capital, they bought projects in Johor below the construction costs. Insane, right? So in property, it's all about entry price to the market, and the entry price is really set by the developer. So just something to ponder upon, because I do think that market is recovering. I do feel that like a lot of projects that I want to buy personally all got no stock. All the units that I want all taken up, which is insane. And when we look into the property newspaper now, people complain more about unaffordability compared to oversupply already. We can already see the narrative change. For me as an investor, I'm happy lah, right? I'm not complaining. But now if I were to look for a home officially, then I'm struggling, because like now property prices is really not cheap. And I guess that's all for this episode. Thank you very much, Flash, for sending in the email. I am very happy for your journey. Like, you have the first one done right. Second one, do pay a little bit more attention, and please look around, because there also got Gems Resident, got a few other options around, but the closest one to IOI City Mall is still that. And if everything is right, your active income is secured, I don't see why not. But do have a conversation with yourself on the risk tolerance. Are you okay if both properties are empty for 6 months? Can you afford it? If you can afford it, then go ahead. That would be the worst case scenario for fully furnished units. And here, thank you very much for sharing your story. It's very inspirational. It's a good demonstration for executing what you learn through the channel. And I hope all the best for you. And for others who still have questions about real estate, do just email me at taniherng@gmail.com, or you can just DM me on Instagram, iherng, and I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.